By the way, don't slam a bunch of salad and guacamole and then 2 shots of tequila and 1.5 White Claws before a podcast. 9 years of comedy.
Here at Beans.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us here at Beans. This is Dying on the Inside. We got Rachel in the studio, as always. Joining us this week, we got comedian Adam Pasi.
What's up? Hi. Hello, hi.
I know I want to say Portland comedian, but I guess you're a Seattle comedian.
Seattle comic, Adam Pasi.
Okay, that's how that goes. Seattle comic, Adam Pasi.
But really a Portland comic, but also really a Seattle comic. This is such a dumb bit I've been doing for 4 years. It's literally cost me work because people have been like, oh, I would have had you on the show that pays good money like a year ago, but I thought you were in Seattle now. Basically, around 2019, I started going to Seattle so frequently for gigs that I would joke that I'm a Seattle comic, and I kept it going. And it's for no one but me. It's for
I love those.
It's enjoyable. I'm not going to lie.
I can't stop.
No.
I can't stop myself. And so, Seattle comic Adam Pasi. But if you got Portland gigs, I'll come down
It's not that bad.
or up from Gresham. Either way you want to put it.
How long has this gag been going then of the 2016 third place?
Third place,
runner-up?
2016.
Portland's
third place,
funniest.
2016.
Yep.
Portland's third funniest. Can you want to guess?
Well, I mean, as I was saying the whole bit, I was like, I've already.
Since I was 7. It's crazy. I knew. I just knew, Josh.
Really backed myself into a corner on that one. That was. Masterclass failed me in my interview. Damn it. I shouldn't have canceled it. I just recently did. It's really expensive. I didn't know that. They got me for 2 years. I'm good.
So when is this May the 4th celebration that I keep hearing about?
That's super, super accurate. Or at least it was right around then to where, like, oh, yeah, I got the alert on my phone.
I smoke, I drink. Sometimes the synopsis aren't firing the way you want to, all right? But you will get these bars every time it happens.
The plus side is they did not get me for a third year. I remembered. I had to double check 3 days later because I couldn't remember if I was just stoned and thought that I canceled the subscription. Because I had done that the year before. I was like, I'm going to go cancel it. And I was like, shut up. They got the lady who voiced Bart Simpson. Hell yeah, I'm going to watch that. All right, I'm going to watch this real quick. And then I'll remember to cancel as soon as I'm done watching it. No, of course not. You don't. You realize they took $250 out of my bank account.
Oh. Mm-hmm. I got lucky. Apparently, Drunk Me a couple months ago signed up for like the high level Instacart service at like 4 a.m. I bet I was trying to get booze. I was like, I bet if I get the fancy one, they will drive to a time zone that's serving alcohol right now. But I didn't even. I remember nothing of it, and then I got an email the next day like, hey, we couldn't process your card because the card I had on file I just lost, so I was ordering a new one. By the way, got a new debit card on the way right now. recurring situation. But then when I got the new card, I don't know what happened. Either it grabbed onto an old card in my Google. Oh, I think when I changed my Google, I connected it through my Google. Don't do that. Because when I plugged the new card in, they were like, oh, yeah, that one works. Yep. And they were like, ran it, and then I got a bill for like $100. Luckily, I hit them up and trying to cancel them because I'd never used it. They were cool about it.
All right,
but,
nice.
I mean, the good old days when Drunk Me would just order an Elton John's Greatest Hits CD off the television, right? Now I got the internet at the palm of my hands, got Amazon and shit.
It's too much.
Dangerous.
There's a part of me that thinks kids really missed out on like late night infomercials because they can't find that weird shit to buy.
Yeah.
But then I remember like they have TikTok. They already found all that weird shit to buy.
Theirs is even worse. They're getting bombarded with bullshit products constantly.
And I've only fallen for 3 of them, I swear.
I almost got one of those. It's a tattoo printer, and it claims to print realistic tattoos, like $400 when you get it with all the good inks. And I thought it'd be the dopest uncle present of all time. Just unleash that on my brother's children
Yeah.
and be like,
Yeah.
mark them up. But like when it was the night I was gonna order. I was like, you should watch some product reviews because I was so hyped for it. It seemed like the perfect uncle gift. But then like the reviews were like, yeah, this is basically lick and stick tattoos for $500, and I'm like, I can just get a bunch of those.
Yeah. $5. You can get 5 pages of
Yeah,
Dollar Tree.
yeah. I'll just get him a roll of quarters and take him to a shitty shopping store that has the little grab him from they can get one of those, a homie's figurine. Like,
Their parent will thank you. You know, to be honest, if my kid got a tattoo printer as a gift and I had to let her use it, I'd be furious.
yeah, that's the point of it.
Yeah.
That's an uncle
I
gift.
mean, I
That's what
understand.
uncles
I
do.
understand.
I have a bit,
Absolutely it is.
but basically I say, no, the gift isn't about celebrating a holiday or showing your affection for your brother's children. It's about sowing chaos in the home of your loved one.
Yeah.
Still waiting for my kid to get like a drum kit or something like that. I mean, it's gonna happen. It's inevitable. She already wanted to do violin. That was a long 3 months in the house because it was
boy.
also pandemic violin. So practice at home, recital at home
Via Zoom.
via Zoom.
Zoom violin.
Yeah.
I had to take a break from work to be a good father and zoom in to my daughter's violin recital. It was brutal.
Sounds. Has she kept it up?
No, thank God. Thank God.
Yeah,
She's
most-
only 7, so it's not like she's going to be amazing at any
Most
point.
parents are
But
like critical. They're like, you never finished anything. You're like, you know
Yeah.
what? This is finished.
no, yeah. Oh, we were waiting for it.
I love that you talk about taking a break at work. I had to deal with the emotional breakdown she had before the recital. She almost didn't do it. She didn't want to.
Well, she's.
Okay.
I guess if you don't get any, it's got to be uncomfortable.
Right.
And she was 5.
Oh, Jesus.
So, yeah. No, she's a kid, little one doing
Oh,
this.
y'all are Joe Jacksoning this violin thing. Huh?
No, that's her mom's
Yeah, it
choice.
wasn't us. It wasn't us.
We got other things. I got a little guitar over there that I'm holding on to for when she wants to make that change.
All right.
There's a few like.
You ever want to play some cool shit?
know.
Come to Dad's house.
I can't say much though. I played the saxophone all through like elementary and middle school.
Just elementary for me, but it
yeah.
was only because we moved.
I hate it. I quit because I didn't want to be a band geek. Like I was so self-conscious of who I was gonna be in high school that I couldn't join band when I went to high school.
I just sucked. Like in hindsight, like I never was playing a song fluidly at any point, and I think I played for maybe 2 years, including one summer. I went to like the summer camp where I didn't know anyone, and it sucked. I was
yeah.
just a lonely, sad stranger, just for the saxophone class that they had.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like I've never felt like I played a single saxophone song. It's always been like this note, then this note, then this, none of that. Like,
I do remember my mom wanting me to do like play for the family during Christmas. And I remember like some of the stuff I played was made for a whole band. And I would play my part. So my family was so polite that they listened to
I mean, if you are the only chair, that does make you the first chair
Right.
in an orchestra of one. No, I'm the chair.
I look
That was
back
nice of
now
him.
and think, why didn't anybody stop me? Like I would be a good relative, and I'd stop them and say, "Hey, you need more people to play that one. Let's find something else that you can play just by yourself.
Hot cross buns.
I'm not gonna listen to 4 notes over and over again."
I mean, I think all families are like that, but that made me a real like, cause like my brothers have kids now, and like my brother Tony will have his kids like sing and dance for the family. Like, hey, what if we were just like a family instead of a talent show? Could we do that? Could we?
Yeah, can we
My
take a
family
break?
just like we challenged each other to like physical activities. We would wrestle. We would go outside, play a baseball game, pick teams.
But see, that's still fun though. That's playing. Like no one's like. I don't
We
think
were-
anyone's like learning a dance and be like, oh, and there's like 5 of my relatives in town at one time.
We all just left the whole situation mad though. Like, it never turned out good.
Oh, yo, you gotta
Someone was mad.
Oh, you come from a family of poor sports.
Yeah, we're not nice. We're not nice about our games. We
I've
want to
never-
win.
I've never been good enough at anything to be a poor sport, but like my brothers who are athletes, they'll lose fits. My brother, even in anything, my brother Alex once like had a friend staying the night because he got beat in Madden by him 3 times in a row, kicked him out of the room, and just locked the door. Like wouldn't
Just
let
done.
him. It's like
We did that over 007.
I tell myself every time that there's not going to be the jealousy with it, but I'm also starting to accept that I think it's part of it. It's part of the gig. It's part of becoming better. Is like learning how to deal with the jealousy, how you do with it, and all that. Because there's been times where it's like, oh, I can't believe that person got in there. How did I not get into that? And that person did. Okay.
I've always been good about that. I'll get jealous of someone's abilities. I'll be jealous of the joke that you wrote. I'll be jealous of your ability to do crowd work. But like fucking, mostly I don't really sweat shit that people get. Part of it's, this is gross to say out loud, just confidence. Like I believe in what I can do. I believe in what I've done in the amount of time I put into this, and I know mine. I was aware at the start of it that like you're not getting everything you deserve ever, so let that shit go. Like I have friends that got real issues with that are like that make, because I've seen it. I've seen it be like when you let that really eat at you, it becomes the early signs of it. It's how I know, oh, you're gonna quit comedy in 3 years. When what everyone else is doing is more important than what you can do.
Yeah.
And so like having seen that early on, it was a good way to not have that be a part of my shit.
Yeah.
And also like comedy's been very good to me. So like I'm kind of also coming from a privileged place where
Hell yeah.
like I started quick and I've gotten a lot of shit, and like yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. That was were you on Doug Loves Movies?
Nah, just the show he was running. I thought it was gonna
okay.
be Doug Loves Movies.
Oh, that would be so cool.
That's what I was all excited waiting for that episode to drop. I've been to every one except for his last 2, and it's strictly just been because I haven't gotten out. And it was I was waiting to see that drop with you, and I think it was Sean Jordan.
Yeah. No,
Man.
it was it's something I wanted to do for a long time. Like I was a fan of that podcast. I think before comedy I started comedy. It was like one of the first podcasts I really started listening to.
Dude, same. So up in my drawers, I have a Doug Loves Movies, the original logo, 3 emoji shirt.
Oh, shit.
I have Apologies for the Interruptions T-shirt. And then I also have his 13 states medical marijuana tour T-shirt. I think I might have had to retire that one because I got too many pit stains from wearing it to his shirts,
I don't think we have
his
that
shows.
one anymore.
Because I think one of the times he said, "No way, that's a throwback," and then I got excited and I just kept wearing that shirt.
Oh yeah.
And then wait out front for him, smoke a bowl with him, come prepared.
That dude has one of the dopest comedy careers set up.
It's amazing watching, like following him from podcasting and then learning how good his stand up or like what he's able to do with his stand up.
Have you seen his stand up shows that he did?
Oh yeah.
So the way he runs it, he's like, yeah, like I've been on 2 of them, and he's like, yeah, so I'll just fuck around till I run out of gas, and then I'll bring you up, and then we'll have a show, and then I'll close it out with actual jokes. And like you do your open mic and your headlining set in the exact same show. You're done before 7 p.m. Like this dude.
I'll say I've been to one of them that you were on.
Oh, there you go. Hey.
Yeah.
He's got it figured out.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy because that one was in like 2015 because I was still hosting back then. Amy Miller got me that spot.
I've been watching for a very long time.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
seeing Amy Miller on it. Like that's one thing I never met Amy Miller. She moved and got big before, like as I was like thinking about doing comedy, and that's one thing where like I remember her from those. I would be ecstatic to meet her because she's on Doug Loves Movies. Like that's a big deal.
Have you seen her special that Comedy Central just dropped on their YouTube?
No, I saw it. Just came out though.
It's called Ham Mouth. It's first of all, like I couldn't believe I know this person. It's so fucking good. It's so good. Her transition from crowd work into material reminds me of Patrice. I say that with zero exaggeration.
Whoa.
I'm not saying this because it's my friend. Again, like I said, I was like, I can't believe this is a friend of mine. It's crazy that I know this person that's doing this right now. It's so fucking ill. It's some of my favorite stand-up I've seen in, let's say, 5 years. At least.
I love that.
And you said the magic
and that's
word was
outside
Patrice.
of the pandemic. I don't count the pandemic.
No, that's a separate thing.
5 years, no pandemic. No, it was. I was astonished. I just make myself stop texting her. I was on a bus to Seattle. I was like, I can't believe this. Amy, this is so. All right, you gotta let it. She's gonna block your number, bro.
Right.
You guys.
Right. Play it cool. Play it cool. How long you been doing comedy?
I'll be 9 in November, and I don't count the quarantine year. So
There you go.
I started 2000. I started November 2012. Technically, I started like the year before that. I did 3 random music mics.
Okay.
One at my home bar, but these are like months and months apart. I really started doing comedy in November 2012.
What made you want to do it?
I've always been a fan of it. I grew up on the Comedy Central half hours from the late 90s. Those were a huge part of it.
Yeah.
And I just loved so many of those specials. Like, they were so dope to me.
Those half hours are like, I'm glad that they're trying to bring some of them back on YouTube, but those were, I feel like that's such a lost thing where I got to meet so many people and learn about so many different styles of comedy through that half hour special.
On Comedy Central, I don't think they accepted the change. It's like record labels when Napster hit, and it took us this long to get. It took us as long as it did to get streaming services.
Get
That's
the
kind
video
of been,
part.
like, I'd listen to comics I was a fan of, and they'll be like, "No, this ain't gonna do nothing for my career. It's 10 G's, and then I have a body of work to reference anyone else to who might be interested in me. But no one's ever gonna see this. But now they're starting to put them online, which might be too late. I've heard very dire things about Comedy Central's future from some people I know.
That's such a bummer.
Yeah.
I grew up on that too.
Yeah, I guess all things must end.
There's
Something else will take its place.
Right. There's going to be something else that'll come through. And luckily, like, comics have been able to figure out how to do a lot of it on their own. That's the part that kind of hurt Comedy Central was people figured out how to do it on their own.
Yeah.
And cut that middleman out. And thank God for YouTube. You can put yourself out there. And so then now it's, it's whether or not Netflix says yes. And then otherwise you put it on YouTube.
No, I have a homeboy, Jared Guzman, and I got the feature for him. And it was pretty surreal because I'm on the bus because comedy's going great. But I was riding the bus up, and y'all gonna cut that? You don't have to. I'm not delicate. I'm just waiting for quality of your podcast. I got nothing to hide. But no, I was riding the bus past Bar. You know Bar of the Gods on Hawthorne?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, way back in the day, me and a homie used to run a show there, and JR was coming through to do Tribble gigs, which, if you don't know, they're like the real cutting your teeth of comedy. And Tribble recently retired. I'm a Buddy trailer, so if you ever want me to get back to the original point, you got to tell me.
Hey, you good. You good.
You cut that? But, by the way, don't slam a bunch of salad and guacamole and then 2 shots of tequila and 1.5 White Claws before a podcast. 9 years of comedy. But no, so it's funny. Tribble retired, and there are 2 distinct opinions on his gigs. And, like, the old heads were like, "It's where I learned my shit, and I cut my teeth on it." And I was like, it was hard, but I was thankful for it. I got paid to tell jokes. And the new heads was like, they were not at all worth the money. And I was trying to figure out, like, why? Why is there such this distinct line in the same? You know why? It's because the same people doing his gigs in the 80s and 90s, same pay as my peers that did his gigs. So yeah, you're making 300 for a headline and set in 1996. You're like, I'm fucking doing it.
Yeah.
And now that isn't even gas, not even kind of. But anyway, JR was down doing triple gigs for not much, and he wanted a guest spot on a show. And we gave him a guest spot, and he does musical comedy and then like crowd work, and he's got some jokes. Like I respect the fuck out of what he does. I love this dude. But so like I gave him a guest spot at Bar of the Gods around 2015ish. I wasn't quite third place yet.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Mark that time. But and then I'm riding past it to the club where he's doing 2 sold-out headlining shows, and I'm riding past the spot where I gave him a 5-minute spot. And I was like, yo, it's dope. This kid fucking made it. And I was talking to him, and he was telling me, like, he had a Netflix half hour a couple years ago.
Nice.
And it's cool to have. He got good money, but no one really saw it. And he blew up because he got COVID. And he's stuck in his house. And he's like, all right, I guess I'll just learn how to edit videos. And he chopped up all his shit and started putting out his content. And now he's touring and selling out clubs. Not even off the Netflix thing,
That's
which
amazing.
is a dope get.
Yeah.
But it's just from, like, the power of social media. And, yeah, no, it was, I really got to learn how to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
I got to get my shit together.
Right.
I don't even have a TikTok account. So.
There's one of me falling on skates.
Yep. That's her one TikTok.
Yeah.
Did you go viral?
No.
Next time.
Unfortunately not. Yeah.
Maybe.
Next time.
We'll
Thank
make
God
it
for the Ring
happen.
camera. It's there to catch any of the driveway fun that
There you go.
happens.
There you go.
Just in case.
I think it had more potential if you could zoom better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not great quality.
Yeah.
We didn't splurge for the 4K, sorry.
Right.
Don't know what kind of compound you think this is, but
I'm just saying that maybe it had potential to go viral.
Blaming the camera, I like that. He's like, my shit was tight. My content was good. And you and your equipment need to get your holding Rachel back. Is what's going on, Josh.
right. I'm sorry that Costco didn't have a bundle with the better camera. Who are your top 3 comedy influences?
Do you want to exclude the God list?
Sure.
Because it kind of gets boring. Like,
I mean,
Pryor,
right.
Carlin, and Louis C.K.
Right.
There, we did it.
Uh-huh. But there are other ones that maybe the unders. Yeah.
Patrice O'Neal, and I was actually years in before I realized how much Patrice O'Neal influenced me. I do a lot of trying to trick the audience into putting themselves in a corner. And I didn't get called on it till I worked with a dude named Dino Archie, who's a fucking murderer if you get a chance to check his shit out. But he was like, oh, you're a Patrice guy. I'm like, I do like his stuff. He's like, no, I can tell from your material. And he points out like 4 jokes. I was like, I'm a Patrice guy. Pete Holmes, definitely. I've heard often that you spend like your first couple years, kind of about the same time people say it takes to find your voice. You spend like your first 5 years basically emulating your favorite comics. And I was crazy into Pete Holmes when I first started because I loved his first 2 albums so much. I thought they were brilliant. And no one could tell I was doing Pete Holmes because I was doing a big, scary Pete Holmes. But it was all his shit, just like being incredible. Just like, really? This thing? Is this what we're doing now? I gotta stop, Dodge. I should have took you up on that water instead of ordering another White Claw. And it's very odd now because he's a friend of mine, but Kyle Kinane, definitely.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah. And he's not like a friend of mine, like fucking made it. No, he moved to Portland last year. So, like, if you're in Portland, you're doing comedy, we're gonna see each other. But, no, it was funny. So he did a weekend at Helium, and he just let all the homies, or basically anyone who we knew who could feature, he let us all take turns being his feature act. And I watched a bunch of the shows because this fucking lunatic is working 2 different hours right now, which, you want to feel like a nothing baby. You want to feel like I might be able to do a full album in a year or so if I really grind it out. And he's just like, yeah, the pandemic, just kind of like, got to figure out how much of these 2 albums I want to put. I'm like, tight. No, but that's one of my like we were talking about jealousy off the mic earlier. That's the type of jealousy that I like, where it's like I was just like, oh, I want to do what you can do. I have big ability jealousy. Side note, I was watching a Tell 2 weeks ago, and I just leaned in my friend's ear, and I was like, we're fucking babies. We're little infants doing nothing. Shit, we're fetuses that might not even be able. We're lucky if we can be legally aborted in Texas. Like that's. But no, but I was watching a bunch of the Canadian shows, and I was watching all my friends who he had feature on his shit, and I could really see, and seeing him right away, and then seeing my friends after, I could see his fingerprints all over our shit. Like I can see how much he's affected us and influenced us, and it's
That's so cool.
But yeah, Holmes, Kinane, and Patrice probably the most easy to tell ones, and I gotta throw Nathan Brannon in there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was the big dog in Portland when I started, and it's a thing I often copy. Where I used to watch him go up dead last at the Red Room mic. When did you start?
2016, 17. I was after I remember hearing stories of the Red Room.
It's pretty legendary. It's why I was able to get in front of black audiences and learn I'd never had any illusion that a fucking Portland white crowd is the same as a fucking urban black crowd.
Right.
But it's why it's how I became. I had the opportunity to learn that because of the Red Room. Because in its heyday, it felt like a show. But also, it was a mic where you got 8-minute sets.
Nice.
And I used to watch Nathan just hang out there, and he could have got on anytime he wanted. He just won the Portland's Funniest Person competition. He was the guy. But he'd wait till the very end and then tear the fucking room apart to 4 people. And so, it made me, I do that. I try to do that now. It doesn't, the tearing the room apart doesn't always happen. But, like, seeing him out, one, just the work ethic it instilled in me. It inspired me greatly. And 2 is watching what he can do to a room with 4 people in it. It takes the excuses out of it. Because, like, you know how you go on open mic, and you might have a bad set. You probably have a bad set if you were at an open mic, but, like, he's the one that shows you, like, no, it's intricate and it's hard, but there is a key to this puzzle. You just have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so, like, it took the excuses out of my shit way early, and it made it as strong as it was.
Hell yeah.
So those are my top 4 influences of the 3 that you asked before.
Perfect.
So, there. Now we're both bad with numbers.
With Netflix, with all the streaming things, everybody has something they're watching, some series, something. What series you watching right now?
The things I'm most consistently watching are, I just got done with this last season of Snowfall. Do you fuck with that at all?
No, I haven't watched that.
It's like if The Wire were set in LA during the crack era, but it were also fucking ridiculous.
Okay.
It's like the MCU presents The Wire. So it's like,
There we go.
there's real shit at the core. A lot of characters are based on real people, but it's also this lunatic, cartoonishly silly. Every season, you're squeaking by the wildest coincidence. It's a really dumb, fun time that occasionally has quite a bit of substance to it.
There we go.
And I really enjoy it. And I like the.
I feel like sometimes those beat the ones that have a lot of substance.
Especially if you're dealing with the simple-minded like me.
Right.
Yeah.
For us, we're watching Halo right now, so that's our big one.
The video game?
The video game
How
show.
is that?
Campy as all hell, and a good time.
But honestly, I'm really enjoying it. I almost didn't give it a chance. He was like, could we? And I'm like, yeah, just do it. And I Hold up, Sudoku.
That's your go-to. That's how he knows? All right, we'll find another show to watch together.
I get one episode and then I'll watch
Do
the
you
rest
have
by
a
myself.
fucking show tell? Like you out here-
Crossword puzzle. Yeah. Washington Post daily puzzle.
Yeah, you be old school in it
Yeah.
too. So you're all like, no, I'll watch the show with you. Flat, flat, fold, pencil scratch, pencil. Good show, babe. Erase. Yours is hella more dramatic.
Something on the glasses. Hold on. Yeah, I'm an old man. I'm not gonna lie. What are you gonna do?
Hey, what's a 5-letter word for fuck this?
Halo though has Porn Stash from Orange Is the New Black. I'm not gonna learn his actual name.
I never watched that show.
Oh, some guy that
I
was
like
in
a
there.
male protagonist.
But they have
I'm just bullshitting.
Yes.
It's my favorite thing to say. Whenever someone
Yeah, absolutely.
This guy's the epitome of male dum dum.
Okay.
With a gun and a super suit, and he gets to run around, and he doesn't know what the hell's going on. It's kind of fun.
Is it mask on most of the time, like in Mandalorian?
It started out that way.
Yeah. First
But now
episode,
he's-
almost all mask. Second, they wavered.
Have y'all watched Mandalorian and or Boba Fett yet? So, highly recommend Mandalorian.
I've
Crazy dope. Like, really awesome. First season, better than the second season, but second still very good.
Nice.
But then they made this Boba Fett show, and the Mandalorian keeps his mask on most of the show. Like you see Javier Peña's fucking gorgeous, by the way, face. Maybe for 3 minutes throughout the whole 2 whole seasons. But
I'm down to watch it.
but like, and so it's really dope how he's able to convey all this emotion through a fucking mask. And then when Boba Fett came out, people were complaining, it's like, he's barely wearing the mask. I'm like, yeah, you can't have 2 shows
Right.
not only with a mask on the whole time, but it's basically the same mask. Right? It's like if they were doing like full-on series about different eras of the Scream movies, and it's like, nah, you gotta can't just look at this same fake face.
Right. There was a reason. I Know What You Did Last Summer was a slightly different. He had a hook. Like that was his thing.
He had a hook and a hat.
Yeah.
He pulled a hat up. He's like, hey, look at crazy homeless beard guy. We got you.
Raincoat.
I see you there. Raincoat. I'm trying to think of what else I'm watching. Atlanta, though I'm not. I need to watch the last episode again. You fuck with Atlanta?
I haven't. Yeah, I've wanted to watch that. That's the
You
Donald
haven't seen
Glover show.
Any of it?
I haven't seen any of it.
It's so good and it's dope because like the first season. Did you watch the show Louie before?
Yeah.
I don't know why it went away, but
I mean,
it's
No
fucking
worries.
cancel. No.
quietly went off the air. I think is what happened.
No, glad nah. But so you notice how like just kind of turned into him being like, I want to make a short film this week. So Atlanta starts off the story of Donald Glover's cousin is a rapper and he's his manager. It's like all their struggles combined, and the characters are the writing's so great. It's funny. It's weird. It's creepy at times. It's just
Really?
it's crazy. I can't remember where I read it, but Donald Glover himself might have said it. But it might be like the hood Twin Peaks, basically. But the first season's kind of focused on them. In the second season, they're kind of like, it's still that, and it's still it's dope all the way through. I haven't not loved a moment of Atlanta that I've ever watched.
Nice.
But the second season, they kind of like start giving themselves permission and be like, I don't just have to tell these 3 guys a story. Like, we can do anything. We can do fucking anything. And like the third season is straight up doing that. Like there's a whole episode about not characters in the story.
I love that.
It's called Trini to the Bone. I don't even want to spoil it. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. There's a Chet Hanks cameo in it that is mwah.
Okay.
But in the third season, they just kind of established kind of like the Louis thing. It's like, this can be whatever we say it is on whichever week. So much so that one time I clicked the wrong part of my Hulu app. I thought I was watching Atlanta, and I didn't realize till 15 minutes in I was watching the first episode of Legion. Because that's how much Atlanta has me willing to go along with it. And I only knew I was watching Legion because I recognized the Shadow King because I knew what he looked like in the show because I got excited because I used to read the comics back in the day. I'm like, oh shit, Shadow King's in this? And then I was like, so I'm like, damn, this Atlanta episode is crazy. This is a psych ward. I don't even know who this guy is. What the fuck is going on in Atlanta? Then I see the Shadow King. I was like, and even still, I was like, would Donald Glover put the Shadow King in Atlanta? But I tapped the screen. It said I was watching Legion for 15 minutes. So I was like, but that's how much that show, at least for me, that's how much that show has my permission to do whatever the fuck they want after the way it's made me feel after 2 seasons. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
We'll have to watch that one.
Yeah, we'll get down on that. I've been wanting to, like, when I first saw it come out, I was a big Donald Glover fan, really like him, know how smart he is, so I was just excited to see what he could do. And then, to be honest, it was one of those where, like, season 2 came around, I was like, oh yeah, I was going to watch that. I got to remember to watch that. And here we are now.
Yeah, there's so many shows that I've never seen a minute of, especially from back in the you can't just pull it up days. Like Lost, not a single second. 24, maybe 1 episode. Like all these serial shits because it's like, I missed 7 episodes. I'm out.
At this
Never
point,
gonna catch up.
Yep.
The other thing I'm watching, I just started watching Winning Time last week, and I've been binging that.
What is that?
Stars John C. Reilly as
Oh,
Jerry
it's the
Buss.
Lakers story.
When he's when the Lakers are, it's like when Magic first joins the Lakers, and it's really good. It's really good. John C. Reilly perfectly plays a piece of shit that you also sympathize with.
I love
Like,
him.
you're on his side, but you're also like, but for real, fuck this guy. Come on, win, piece of shit. Come on. Like,
Like you want him to win, but you also would punch him in the throat.
yeah. I especially love the guy that's playing Kareem because I don't know much about Kareem from back then. What little I know of Kareem, I only know like Kareem post-retirement as an old man and maybe one Coca-Cola commercial from when I was a kid. But like he really captured at least what I think Kareem's essence is as a younger, angrier Kareem. And the show's really dope. It's goofy and fun. They break the fourth wall all the time.
Oh, fun.
At the same,
I like that.
I love that.
They showed Magic signing his Converse deal, and then they showed the guy with Nike. Nike was an upstart at the time, right? Yeah, Jordan made Nike, so like Nike was an upstart, and they went to Magic before Jordan was even in the NBA, and it's basically all the things they showed him the stock options, and then then they showed Magic went with Converse, and then they showed the Nike guy at the bar. And they show the numbers, like how much stock Magic would have got for Nike, what it's worth then, what it's worth now, and it's literally, I think, more than $3 billion, possibly $5 billion. And the guy turns from the bar, the Nike guy turns from the bar, he's like, he regretted it, like to the camera. Like it's so, they do shit like that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It's so dope. No, Winning Time, highly recommend.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna get down on that.
Yeah.
I saw that they were doing that. I just didn't know what it was coming out on and when it had come out. So I John C. Reilly. Anytime he's on board, I'm in. And then you tell him the Lakers story. I love that stuff. Like I mean, I still remember when Magic had his big announcement. Like that was a big deal. We were at home. We watched it on TV. Me and my brother together.
It's not spoiled. It's the first scene. The show starts with the car ride to Magic's press conference. And then it flashes back to how it all began.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna be hooked in.
Let's go.
Hell
Let's
yeah.
fucking go,
Hell
yo.
yeah.
Winning Time.
Have anything you want to plug? This will come out on Monday.
I'm hosting the Portland's Funniest Person competition. It's every Tuesday and Wednesday at Helium Comedy Club. There's at least one show. You can go to heliumcomedypdx.com and see all the listings. But every Tuesday and Wednesday at Helium for at least the next 3 months, it's going down. Also, I'm 1/4 of the hosts on Doe, which I'm kind of abandoning because the Helium money's better. But that show is my jam, and you can go watch it for free.
Hell yeah.
That's every Wednesday at Mississippi Pizza, and I, without ego, can say it is consistently the best show in Portland. I'm also a fourth of the host. You see how I like spreading out responsibility?
Well done. I'm learning. I'm learning.
I'm a quarter of the host for a monthly show at Beulah Land called Stool Humpin', which is a name that we stumbled on accident.
I like
We were
it.
talking about the stool humping trope. And then, like, we were sitting at a bar, and then somebody, I don't know which of the four of us, said, "Hey, what if we had to call the show Stool Humping?" And I cussed out loud. I was like, "We are calling it." They were like, "We don't have to." I'm like, "No, you don't understand. I just did a podcast called Chumba and Wumba for 3 years. And this is exactly how it went down. The show is now called Stool Humping." But I'm actually fond of the name. It's me, my boy Sam Whiteley, Ryan Danley, and fucking local hip hop, a legend, I'd say, Tron, aka Old Grape God, who kind of just fucks around on a keyboard and plays samples however
Oh,
much
yeah.
he wants. And that's at midnight every third Saturday of the month at Beulah Land. And other than that, follow my Instagram, ADMPASI, or you can just punch in my full name. And that's where I usually share my shows when I remember to do so. I'm so bad at this, you guys. I'm so bad at the whole business end of this shit.
Hey guys, make sure to check out friends of the podcast, What the F is Ladylike podcast with Sarah and Jewel. You can find their show on Spotify or Anchor.fm.
They also have super cute merch at bonfire.com.
Boom.
Boom.
Do you like what you're listening to? Well, we wouldn't be able to put this together as easy as we do without the help from Anchor. Anchor.fm and the Anchor app make posting our show all over the internet as simple and pleasing as using a bidet.
If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Announcer voice, explain.
Anchor has tools that will allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcast, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. The only way you can see what we're talking about is to download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
My parents know, like I told them, I mean, like one of my first bits that was good was about me catching them fucking when I was a kid. So, like, they were like, "Oh, can we see your comedy?" I was like, "You don't want to," and they believe me because they know who I am. And but like even still with the clean shit, that's how my dad found out I was agnostic. I was showing him. That's how he found out I was agnostic and that my girlfriend was an atheist. Like he was like, "My girlfriend's an atheist and believes in ghosts," and he was like, "Really? Wow, she's goofy." I'm like, "Yeah, she really is." And he was like, "I shouldn't even talk. I'm agnostic." He pauses it. He's like, "Is that true?" "Yeah, Dad." I haven't been to church in almost a decade. What the fuck did you think this was about? You think? Granted, I am that lazy, but also no.
I remember the first time my folks saw me, I got on it. The Doug Fur was doing their outdoor patio show. Do a clean set. It was a good setting for my folks. I was real excited. I sit down. I can't remember who the comic was that followed me. Not around anymore. Does nothing but jokes about anal sex for 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
I was told to be clean. 5 minutes of anal sex jokes. I'm sitting in between my parents. Church going, folk.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm gonna be like, mm-hmm.
That was the one
This is
cool
what I'm
kids
doing.
I had off.
Yep.
And I got drunk on those little frozen drinks they had.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt weird being super drunk next to his parents.
Super funny.
And
It was great
then
material.
anal jokes. And I was just like,
Phenomenal
It
anal
was-
sex
I
jokes.
was
really
trying not to
funny.
laugh. I was like,
No, I can't even. Dude, I can't even watch like intense PG makeout scenes with my folks. Like I'm always like my sister told me that, and this was like when she was finishing high school. She was like, "I had mom and dad come watch Step Brothers with me." I was like, "Oh my god." Dude, one time me and my mom were watching America's Got Talent, a rerun, so it was like on the E Network at 10:30. And we're just hanging out at my parents' house. Me and my mom watching it, and Kris Jenner comes on selling vibrating condoms. I was like, "What the fuck, CJ?" It's America's Got Talent. A little girl just sang a song. Me and my mom enjoyed it. Now I gotta sit here and pretend like I'm not about to buy one of these vibrating condoms.
I gotta grab tissues for another reason now. God damn it!
You just want to be like, trigger warning.
You filthy monster.
I watched American Beauty with my grandma, not knowing what American Beauty was.
Oh, because it
Like
just
in
sounds
theater?
like a.
No, not in theater. It was
Okay.
the new release. We rented it on VHS. Sat down,
Still
watched it,
awkward.
and there was a certain moment when my grandma goes, "Well, we probably shouldn't finish this." Paused it, turned it off, and I waited till she went to bed, and I finished watching that movie. It was fantastic. Are you kidding me? Horribly uncomfortable though, watching Kevin Spacey with a high school girl sitting next to your grandma on a sofa, floral
Yeah, no,
sofa.
that's-
Horribly uncomfortable, but.
Yeah.
Who was he getting blown by? Because it wasn't the son. The military dad thought it was the son blowing him. Who was blowing him in the garage when his dad saw?
No, he wasn't getting blown. They were doing some workout thing. It was like legitimately one of those dumb.
Oh.
He just thought.
He thought he was.
He
His
was
head
selling
was
him
in the
weed.
right position.
Okay.
And
that's
they
He
did
was
workout
selling
stuff and
weed,
sell weed in
they
the
thought
garage.
It was,
He thought he was a gay hookup. Instead, no, he was after the chick from American Pie.
yeah,
I
that
don't
was
know what her
crazy.
name. Mina Suvari, I think, but
Yeah, Mina Suvari.
yeah,
Fuck, that's a
She was in
pull, bro.
American
That's a pull.
yeah, she was.
That was the same chick.
That's
in
the same chick from
American Pie?
American Pie. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Always
Let me
thought-
tell you, those are two movies I wanked it to a lot. I
like,
know who's in
You're not
them.
talking about like the foreign girl in American Pie.
Mm.
No, that's Shannon Elizabeth. She's not really
Mina
foreign.
Suvari
That's his
was
great
the,
actor.
I loved her.
She's fantastic actress. We all
I-
thought she was foreign.
Yeah.
Somebody says, "Hey, you want to watch The Departed?" You feel like you have to say yes.
Yeah, that's a great
Yeah,
movie to stumble
yeah,
on
I
TV.
do. Oh yeah.
It was the middle of a Sunday. TNT, what you got going? Oh, 3/4 of The Departed is done? Well, watch this
Hell
last
yeah.
bit. Hey. I remember I had this dope day at work back at when I used to work at the hospital. Every single break I took magically was during the escape in Shawshank Redemption.
I was about to say I've never seen The Departed. I always went for the reruns of Shawshank.
Oh, Shawshank
I
is a
love that fucking
mwah.
movie.
Oh,
It's
that's
my
when you can.
favorite.
I love when it's on because it's so long and you can fuck with it for like 20 minutes and be like, ah, man, what a cool movie. Go do something and come back and be like, oh, I'm here for the escape. Yes.
But if you come back at the very end of the escape, you're like,
Just missed it.
Oh yeah. when you- Oh, cool. You dropped that shit off at the bank. I wanted to.
yeah, now he's got to find
wanted
it at
this.
the brick
I wanted
wall.
this
He's
moment.
going to pull
Right. I
out
wanted
some
this
bricks.
moment.
He's going to pull some bricks out, find the thing.
We bring up news topics. I say like we do it to do the lighter side of news, and then the first one I
Man,
bring
these
up is
stories
murder.
you gave me are so upsetting.
You know,
I
they're
know.
not. When I was reading them though at the time, I thought this one was interesting. I thought because of living in Portland here, that the article though written by the Daily Bouquet. So, America's crime-ridden woke capital of Portland is already on track to surpass last year's record-breaking murder total, with homicides up more than 10% compared to 2021. Either way, one, it's got to be somewhat impressive to be the woke capital and also the murder capital.
We're not murder
That's-
capital yet. We're just the woke capital,
mean-
but we're on the rise for the murder.
Like if we haven't reached Detroit.
Why
mean-
why we focusing on the negative? Maybe Chicago is getting more woke
I
while
mean-
maintaining
You never
their
know.
murder rate,
Yeah.
Right.
You
and no
never
one
know.
wants to talk about it. Same amount of guns, but more correct pronouns. How come
People
no one's
don't
saying
wanna
nothing
dig
about
like
that?
that
huh?
no more.
The article goes into the fact
Oh.
of like in the 80s. No, you can go to like the
That's-
in
that's
in
what's
'87 was the last time the murder rate was up this high. It was like a 70. And then some of the comparisons of Portland now to Portland in '87. Some of the things I thought were interesting. One of them was the majority of the beatings in '80s, or the murders in '87 were beatings. They were stabbings or beatings.
Oh.
which really shows just how much social media has
How much
taken
harder
away.
people used to work back then.
Right.
You know,
Right.
no one wants to work to murder someone
There's no
anymore.
face-to-face anymore.
So impersonal.
Right.
Just these fucking these Facebook murders basically is what they are.
Yeah.
Right. Can't look a man in his face when you're going to murder him. Come on, what happened to society these days? It's not all they all think it's Call of Duty. Makes it a lot easier.
At least we're not seeing them do the tea bag.
That is true. There were no statistics in the 80s.
I just got that, and that was fucking phenomenal. I need you to say it clearer, Rachel, in case someone missed it.
Tea bag.
It's just that is not a TikTok challenge, by the way. No one start. I know I'm laughing my ass off now, and I'll be honest. If it happens in real life, once I'll laugh at it. But if it goes viral,
It's not the thing to go viral for.
we just started something terrible here. Shame on us.
I mean, thank God they didn't do that in the 80s, because about what happened was all the beatings. Some of the other things I thought were interesting, there were no drive-bys in 87, or at least no murders by drive-by. I guess they weren't as good with the aim in the drive-bys, or they just didn't happen as often. Most of it all being gun violence. I don't, not to show my privilege or whatever, I don't see any of this. Like, I guess it's going on, and I see cop cars every once in a while. We see them. We get ring notifications.
I've been lucky. Like, I've just missed it. Like, there's been, like, broad daylight robberies near places I've been. I had a homie, like, drop me off once. I got on the bus, and then later that night, there were, like, 3 shootings in that same place. So, like, I've just missed it. Like, comedy brings me all over the city. So, unfortunately, every bad area here, I'm gonna hit eventually. So, but yeah, I've been very fortunate to not be in any of these situations. Like, I got homies. There's a bar I hang out at all the time. It's kind of fucked up. I don't want to say the name because I don't want to fuck with their business because I love that bar. But for like multiple people have stories in this like 2-month period of like just getting ready to cross the street, hearing same story, 3 different people, same story. They're leaving the bar around bar close. They're getting ready, just waiting to cross that street, and they hear laughter, and they look to the source of the laughter, and it's just a kid sitting in a car pointing a gun at them while they drive by.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah, it's fucked up that I still go to that bar.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I've known so many bartenders in the last like 6 to 8 months. They've been posting stories about their bars are getting shot up, and robbed, and all of these things. It's really scary. They're mostly hitting the ones with the poker machines.
Sure.
Because they can get more cash off of them. Yeah. They have to carry more cash
on hand. Yep.
But it's terrifying.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. One of the things the city has done to try and curb this, because of course there's a plan always. I don't know. They have people that are focusing more on gun-related crimes. I don't know. Apparently, they didn't focus on gun-related crimes.
I'd like to see. Yeah, the article just says like, no, there are groups that are focused. Like, there's not a lot of information in the article itself that I read.
There wasn't a ton in there, and it does worry me though a bit of that maybe how some of those programs work. We have a unit, and they're working on it. Because one of the other ones they mentioned though was the crime response unit or crime response team. I've met those people before. They're rough, just in the way of. I've been in incidents where we called them, and they're like, cool, we'll be there in 4 hours. You do me no good in 4 hours. And so it is like they put a couple people in an office and said, hey, we're doing something about it.
Yeah.
Give these guys a call. Those guys are doing the best they can.
This task force has a special name.
But
Hey, the 90s, we're having a war on drugs. Everything's gonna be fine, right? A little catchphrase, sell some T-shirts. Here we go.
Yep.
Here comes the funding. Yeah, this is, all right. Here's my pinko lefty suspicions. One, police budget just got cut by 15 mil, allegedly. And, no, it did. But, like, so if the city goes to shit, is that not good for the people who want that budget back?
Right.
And whose job is it to prevent the city from going to shit?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I don't think you have to go that far to find someone in Portland who will tell you the police aren't doing anything right now. Number two, we basically have drugs are a ticket crime in this city if you're not carrying enough to distribute. And I think that good thing I drank a bunch before we talked about this shit. So Portugal has done this. It's had phenomenal effects for Portugal. But what they did along with it is there's mandatory rehabilitation.
Yes.
There are social programs in place. And we have a fraction of that, not nearly enough, but we do have the basically legalized drugs. And I think the way that happened, I think the one side that is pushing for us to do what Portugal did is like, well, this is at least a step in the right direction. And I think the other side that doesn't want that to happen is like gonna stop the full effort that it would take for this to work from happening, and then be like, well, you wanted to defund the police, you wanted your illegal drugs, look at us now. Look at us now. Now do everything I fucking tell you to do. So, yeah, it's very bad in Portland. Worse than it's been in a long time. I think the fingers are pointing in the wrong direction.
Absolutely.
And
well, there's a bit too of like once the slope starts going, the more opportunity that opens up, it allows that to continue to grow. So once things started to kind of slide, it was a lot easier for them to keep sliding, and they kept going, and police really weren't doing the job. I still come from family of police, so like, you know, I respect them, but at the same time, I had another Portland police officer one time returned a gun to him. He looked at me, and as he's on his radio going, yeah, it's I don't know what kind of, it's not one of the spinny thing ones. And I had to explain to him that it was a Glock, and that it wasn't a revolver. I watched this cop do this. I was really
A
like,
spinny?
you gotta be kidding me, sir.
That's
Like,
what
I
you
know
call a
revolver.
revolver?
I called you.
I've never held a gun that shoots harder than BBs in my life, and I know what a
have.
revolver is.
My uncle has a gun room. It has reinforced steel doors.
It's just paintings, though. It's
It's
painting
beautiful.
beautiful
Beautiful.
paintings of guns.
So there are those out there that don't know what they're doing.
Oh no, I'm
Sure.
very. My cousin was murdered by the Seattle Police Department on New Year's Day, 2019. So,
Oh, shit.
I'm so
yeah, his name's
sorry.
Yossia Falatongo. # I'm not reaching if you want more info from it. But basically, he led them on a pursuit where he did pull a gun on them at multiple points during the pursuit. And if he'd have been killed at those points during the pursuit, it'd be fine. But he was shot face down on the ground, and his last words were, "I'm not reaching." So,
Dang.
yeah, I've always had a very healthy, deep fear of police, just because I don't at least that much of how the world works. I put it like this: I got a DUI a couple years ago, and what was it called? I'm basically the Brady Bunch when I'm like, oh, gee, Will, sir. I was like, oh, what was I swear? Golly, gosh, oh boy, oh shucks. No, because I'm constantly afraid of my life when there's a police officer present. I am a large brown man. And even at that, if you weigh 200 pounds less than me and you're black, you're more in danger than I am. That's how
it's fucked
basically is. But I was having a conversation with the sheriff who was very cool, but also like, if one of his friends murdered me, would he take care of me? And it's kind of, I put it that way. It's like I have met a lot of good cops.
Yeah.
But when I find a bad one, I can't cash those good ones in.
Yeah.
I can't be like, all right, well, you're a racist monster, but I met 7 really cool people. So how about instead of murdering me, you just kind of break my arm a little bit? Like, no, you're just going to murder me because you're a horrible monster and my life is forfeit the minute I leave the front door of my house because You can legally kill me.
Right.
Yeah, like that's what it is. Like the public relations department when called out for what they did to my cousin. They said we want to commend our officers for their bravery. They shot a father of 2 in the back of the head.
The fucking audacity.
Bravery.
Here at Beans, we have
Merch. That's right. Finally, your favorite podcast, Dying on the Inside, has their own Here at Beans store. You can find it on Bonfire, where you can get your Here at Beans shirts, your Here at Beans hoodies, your Dying on the Inside podcast t-shirts, Dying on the Inside podcast mugs. That's right, we are selling out. Everything is available. Please come on down to Here at Beans, bonfire.com. Check out the link in the bio. Done.
here at Beans.